best wrestling podcast in the world. Fact. The road-wearing Original Pete. The believing. Power of positivity. Keeping it Rollins. The Summit. Fact. The homicidal. The genocidal. The ECW loving. Daring Young creeping. Mr. No Days Off. Scott. Fact. The biscuit and gravy eating. Naomi loving. Lunatic craving. The melting pot. JP. And you can bank on that. Fact. The Bailey hugging. The interrupting. The Jaeger drinking. Mouth of the Carolinas. Lil Steven. Fact.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
I miss you, Darren Young. Little Steven, Darren Young, in a evening gown match with Pat Patterson. Little Steven gets a little French Canadian in him. Jeff Hardy's going to face Jay Leno in a steel chairs match. People are just jealous because I got skills.
Here's my issue. Is it worse to get beat by one midget or three? Little Steven in a beer drinking contest with Naomi. I have this big issue with people. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Just kept it Rollins. Jimmy Hart, Triple H, X-Pac against Lil Steven in a microphone on a pole match. Anything can happen. Lightweight. If you don't want it, then don't bark it.
We're three-man band. That's horrible. I don't want to make you look bad.
You're fired, sir. When you want to hear me mess up, they're in Radioland. When you want to hear me not mess up, I did not know that. Wow. Wrestling with attitude. When you want your beer, awesome.
That's right. When you want your beer awesome, you come to Wrestling with Attitude. Welcome to Wrestling with Attitude. Is that your TV?
No.
That's your phony.
It's not my phone.
No, it was mine.
Oh.
I'm going to blame you anyway, just because. Happy Patty's Day, in case you didn't know.
Hey!
As you can see, I have my socks. They're green.
Yeah, they're green.
They're green.
They're as green as that Kevin Owens shirt he's got.
That is not true. That is green, dude. That's Charlotte Hornet green.
Okay,
it's
Charlotte
teal.
Hornet. It's teal.
It's
teal is not green.
Teal is a green.
Teal is a blue.
No, it's really. It's a blue green.
Teal is.
It's a blue green. It's a blue meanie.
No, all right. First off, nothing is a blue meanie. Okay.
By the way, we got to talk about it. I'm watching 1999 Blue Meanie and Goldust, and I forgot that he kept calling his mommy Goldust.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Of course. The whole gimmick was horrible. It was just a way to bring Blue Meanie into the...
And then the naked couch where he was acting like Goldust.
What was wrong with the naked couch, man?
Dude, he was dressed... He didn't have nothing on.
So did Goldust didn't either.
In case you didn't know, just like Tommy Dreamer this week on Edge and Christian. Did you see the end of that?
Oh, God. That made
By the way, if... our periscopers out there, why? What? It's better than Periscope Land. But our scopers out there, would that be better?
That's worse.
That's worse?
That's worse.
But, you're sitting here watching Edge and Christian. The show's actually getting better. I can't believe I'm saying this. But it's actually getting better.
I mean, I'm surprised you were, you were the guy that was on board since the beginning.
I felt too much like Jackass watching the show.
No.
Like it had too much Jackass stuff involved.
Well, yeah, it's
But it seems
stupid,
better.
Yeah.
I like the Schmuck Challenge. No, it's not the Schmuck.
No, it's the Chump Stain Challenge.
Chump Stain, that's it. We need to start doing a Chump Stain
We
challenge.
do need a challenge.
I'm tired of doing the same thing. We need to have some new segments on this show. Besides Dirty Hills.
Don't remind me of Dreamer is what JoJo says.
Dude, it was funny, though. You laughed at it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all
I
laughed.
did.
Look beside you. Oh. But the Chump Stain Challenge, awesome.
The Chump Stain Challenge is cool. I mean, I think we should do some kind of challenges. That'd be like, something we could do before maybe a pay-per-view or something. Just do a challenge. Like we used to, but like a little different. We'd have to have a moderator here, Like we need someone to moderate for us.
Oh, you mean like another host?
No, like just have someone come in for that challenge.
Well, what we're going to start doing the show definitely is I want to start having a special guest picker.
Ooh.
Have a celebrity picker.
Pickle?
Pickle.
I like a celebrity pickle. Those are really good.
But no, we need to start having some celebrity pickers on the show. Something different. But that's future shows. We're talking about today.
Today.
Yes, right now, this moment. We got some news. I want to talk about some things that we got going on in the world of wrestling. I'm going to talk some more news later, but first, I got a little song to say goodbye.
Where the good Lord split ya. Go ahead on if you got to go.
That song just gets no better, does it?
Nope, it doesn't.
It's an amazing song, dude. Anyway, what we talked about? Did we talk about Mr. Anderson last week?
Yes.
Did we talk reason he got fired?
No.
Okay. In case you didn't know why Mr. Anderson was fired, reports are coming out from TNA that he got fired for drug abuse. In case you were in WWE, that's the reason he got fired from WWE.
I don't deny it, you know.
You don't deny it. Did you do it?
No.
I mean, how you know then? I thought that was actually...
No ranting yet, JoJo. It's coming, though.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, just wait. I don't know. No, nothing. I mean, I get it. Mr. Anderson has had a lot of problems, though, in the past. Even in WWE, he had a lot of problems. A lot of people he had issues with. You know, I didn't know he had a lot of issues with a lot of people behind closed doors in WWE. And... Yeah. It looks like he did the same thing in TNA. So, hopefully he gets better. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like he's changed much because he was kind of the same guy when he went to TNA. So, I guess now he's just going to go in the independent scene until someone hires him back.
Well, you can't. First of all, let me give you too much demons. Yeah, I agree. He's got too many.
He does.
You can't go on the independent scene and start saying bad things about the other company you work for.
No.
Because you're never going to work for them again. By the way, I don't think he'll ever come back. Like you said, he'll be independent.
Where is he? How old is he now? Like, is he like a good 30? I want to say he's John Cena age, but I might be wrong.
Go ahead. Anyway, you're talking about...
Well, I mean, yeah, he's going to go independent scenes. Like, I don't think you're ever going to see him in WWE again.
He actually 40. He just turned 40, March 6th.
Happy birthday.
He's the same age as I am.
Really?
Well, he's a year older, but or a couple months older.
Wow.
But yeah, you won't see him back in WWE. You won't see him TNA again, I don't think.
I mean, and it's okay. I don't really want to see Mr. Anderson in WWE again. I don't. What could he do? Please give me one match he can have with a superstar of today.
Nothing.
No.
Back then, and this almost be a what if. Listen, when he came out when he debuted in WWE, dude, it was huge.
Oh, yeah.
He was really good. Of course, we said the same thing about Drew McIntyre, the new TNA World Champion. We'll talk about it later. But, there's some guys.
Way to buzzkill the show there.
Well, I didn't buzzkill. We'll talk about it later. We got some other news. Right now, we're talking about goodbyes.
I mean, now I don't want to talk about the guy now that I know what he is.
Well, no, we'll talk about McIntyre later. But, it was a lot of buzz around him. No pun intended. No. But back then, he was
hell of a talker.
He could have been a great champion, I think, at some point. Mm-hmm. You remember he won Money in the Bank, and Edge won it against him. The only time that somebody's put it up and lost the Money in the Bank. So, technically, he's the first one to lose the Money in the Bank. John Cena's number 2. But anyway, we want to talk about John Cena.
Actually, Sandow.
We ain't talk he has just been off. Just canceled that one.
What a buzzkill, LOL. In fact, indeed, JoJo. What a buzz.
You gonna get got.
There you go.
I just got by freaking R-Truth.
You didn't say that.
Tell me you did not just say that.
I gotta edit that.
What?
Stop. All the Periscope people can't hear what's going on right now.
You can hear the what's?
They can't hear the what's.
I'll turn the what
All
up.
they hear is yes out there. No offense, JoJo.
But anyway, going back, Ken Anderson, man.
Okay.
What?
All right. I want to say one last thing about Anderson, and this is me. I hope he gets better. I really do. I get it. He's got some demons. I hope he can get them fixed and possibly go back to TNA. Now, WWE, I just don't see it because right now in this day and age, I just don't see Anderson going.
Let me take it back. One thing WWE does really great is when wrestlers are in trouble and they need treatment or rehab, they pay for that. If you don't believe me, go ask RVD. Go ask X-Pac,
Jack Swagger,
Billy Gunn. We can go through the countless list of people. Mm-hmm. They help you get help.
Billy Gunn's in rehab right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But no, you're right, and that's a good thing though.
Right.
TNA does not do that. They let you go. They go, bye.
Well, they don't have the same. We don't know what exactly they do.
True.
Because Kurt Angle had an issue also, which, if I'm not mistaken, WWE paid for it for him to go get help. So that's another story. What?
In TNA, while he was in TNA?
Right. If I'm not mistaken. I'll go back and read the story.
That's messed up.
The other news that we have was somebody out. Somebody was injured Monday night, unfortunately. Adrian Neville broke his ankle. He's out 2 to 3 months. Go ahead if you want to start.
Well, I just want to commend Jericho. And I'm
For what?
Okay,
break his ankle?
No, first he broke his own ankle with the baseball slide. For doing the whole thing with the ref, he did it. And you can actually, if you go back and you listen to the audio, you can hear him go, and he's hurt and everything, and he pushes the ref because he had no other choice. So I give Jericho credit for doing that to stop the match because he didn't want to just be like, do the crossbones thing, like the X. He didn't want to do that and call the people out. He instead got in a fight with the ref to make it look good. So I give Jericho credit. The show must go on. He did the right thing in my opinion.
No, he did.
And so I want to commend Jericho on that. As much as people
That is the one thing we'll commend you, Jim. You know how to get help for other people.
You do.
I know.
You put Neville over on that match.
Look, I love Jericho back in the. I love Jericho. I do love Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen his daughter's podcast, he's got 2 little girls that do bean challenge or whatever. I'll watch a clip of it.
Are you
It was
serious?
funny. It was funny.
Okay.
It was funny.
I'll have to check it out.
I'm not watching it every week. I just wanted to see what it was about. It was
Yeah.
But watching Jericho, interact with his daughters, and it's good.
Of course.
It's a good thing. But it's just, but watching him, I'm glad he stepped up and said, hey, he's really hurt. You need to get him help. But going back to Neville, okay? There's one person I know that's a part of the show, Melting Pot, that says Adrian Neville is horrible. He'll never be anything. I disagree. And the reason I say that, let's give him a chance. Before you start saying he ain't got a chance to be great in this company, or not great, being good. At right now, the only thing I ever think he'll be is a mid-card guy. Maybe a U.S. champ, maybe IC champ, maybe a tag team champ. A world heavyweight champion? No. But who knows? Maybe down the line. It's way too early to say how great this guy's going to be.
Sure.
Because we haven't seen him enough. When we bring these guys up, and this is my fear of Ben Balor, AJ Styles is a little bit different. But when you bring these guys up, they're fighting who? You're putting them against Fandango? Okay.
Yeah.
In Wade Barrett, you brought Adrian Neville up for 2 weeks. You had him against Barrett, and he wasn't even the star of it. You had to bring in the Green Arrow at SummerSlam. And then after SummerSlam, he got buried again. You don't see a rivalry with this guy. The same thing with Tyler Breeze. You don't know what you got because you don't see him.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, I'm not saying Tyler Breeze is going to be great. I don't know if Adrian Neville's going to be great. But if we don't see them in a legitimate storyline for a month, we got an issue with the company.
I see now, and this is just my take on it. I see Neville being a Kofi. I see him being a Kofi Kingston, just with the whole,
a lot of spots.
He's going to be in Money in the Bank for the spots. He's going to be in certain matches for that. But he could be a hell of a tag team guy, because Kofi was a tag team guy with many people. CM Punk, Evan Bourne, New Day, and other. I mean, he's done a lot too, and R-Truth. So I could see Neville. I think the best thing for Neville right now is put him in a tag team. I really believe that. You bring him back, get him all freshed up, and make him a tag team player for Neville. I think Neville needs to be a tag team player.
Well, first bring him back healthy, and then see what you got.
Yeah.
JoJo, I agree. They have screwed him up so far. I want to see what they're going to do when he comes back.
Yeah. Well, I think if you give him a few months off and everything, and you redo his character a little bit,
Right. Absolutely. No, I think you let him rehab, bring him back, and see what you got.
Yeah. And I think it'll be better, too, because, we have a lot of people out, too. They're kind of fishing for people right now. They have talent. The problem is, though, is that there's a lot of talent that are on the injured list right now. They don't really have anyone. They have plenty of people, but I think they still have, they still have that depth issue that we've always talked about. So.
But yeah, because actually JoJo posted it on our Facebook page. Thank you. Talking about how they screwed him up, and they have.
They have.
So hopefully he gets healthy, he comes back, and you put him in some storyline.
The perfect thing that you do, him and Tyler Breeze rivalry.
No. You put him. I was excited to see him and Kevin Owens. Because that could be a legitimate storyline.
It was good in NXT.
And no, it was okay. It wasn't like him and Sammy, but,
it was
I was looking forward to him I was actually looking forward to him to win the IC belt at WrestleMania. Because no one saw it coming. You had Zayn and Owens fighting each other.
Yeah.
You could have had Neville winning the championship.
And there's a perfect rivalry right there. When he gets healthy and comes back, put him in a feud with Sammy. Put him in a feud with Sammy.
Put with Stardust. No, I'm being serious. Sami Zayn and Stardust had a great match. And if you watch Neville and Stardust, him and Cody Rhodes will have a great match.
Yeah.
And a great rivalry. Stardust against the guy that Gravity forgot? Really? Well, wait a minute. They did do this at SummerSlam.
They kind of
screwed it up.
Yeah.
But they screwed it up. You had to bring in the Green Arrow, and you didn't need to.
Yeah, they kind of, it was a rivalry, and then they kind of just forgot about it.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I agree. All right, you ready for this week's top 5?
Yeah.
Sound Off. Let me find the music so we can go to Sound Off. And here we go.
WWA SoundOff, where your voice can be heard.
Sound off, let them know how you feel. If the anger inside is real, sound off.
The anger is real this week because...
Is it?
Yes. In case you want to explain everybody what Sound Off is?
Well, what Sound Off is, ladies and gentlemen, what it is our top 5. So we take a topic, a top 5, or like wrestlers, rivalries, matches, anything, and we tell you our top 5. So you can tell us out there on Periscope, on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. Tell us your top 5. And this week's top 5, James, go ahead and tell us what it is.
No, I'm going to let the music speak for us.
Oh. Yeah.
In case you didn't know, the man called Sting. That is the greatest theme song he ever had.
It was one of his best ones.
Even though it was the high school gymnasium theme song.
Hey, that was his best one, man. That's the one that he came out to on the first ever Monday Night Nitro.
I'm going to warn everybody. All of my top 5s for Sting is not in WWE. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, too, because I do want to actually talk about that, the whole authority thing. But we'll get to that, because I didn't put that in my top 5 either.
Stone Cold McMahon. No, top 5 Sting rivalries. Sorry. Everybody on Periscope, what is the top 5 rivals of Sting?
Yeah, we're doing the Sting rivalries this week.
Yeah.
Now, rivalries of all time, that might be one we might venture later on.
We have done that.
Have we done top 5 rivalries of all time?
Yeah, we'll do it again.
I don't know.
We've done
It's been a long time.
I know. Well, I've done a lot of top 5s here on this show.
Oh, yeah, I bet you have.
I have. I'm usually on all top 5. But anyway, yeah, this I didn't really include in this top 5 Sting tag team matches. You know, I didn't include rivalries. Sting NWO.
Of course,
I see that.
That's on mine.
Well, our top 5 rivalries. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Let's start off. I'm going to start off with Vader.
Okay, one.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. In the late or early '90s, him and Vader had a really good rivalry. Next to, I mean that was when he was going. What was it? Was it? Did he have the belt or did he have the TV title or something? Right? What belt did he have?
Well, it was Vader's world title.
It was the world title. Okay, and that's when because that was not his first run at all, but that's when he was getting a lot of heat and thing. And Vader was a good heel at the time to me, because it was the blonde haired Sting guy, the ultimate good guy going against this big bad guy that does a moonsault. It was kind of cool to me. So I like Vader, and I think they had some good matches. They had a lot of good matches, and who could forget the Beach Blast, the Beach Blast movie? Come on, man. Greatest movie ever.
No. I actually have a movie that's come out. Body Slam's one of the best ones ever. In case you didn't know, watch Body Slam. It had a great Roddy Piper. But there's a new WWE movie coming out with Dolph Ziggler and Kane.
And it's real,
Rusev,
folks.
And Rusev is in it. And you have to see the trailer. Just saying.
It's real, folks. This is a real movie. Go check it out on WWE. They have it.
But anyway, going back to your top 5.
Yeah, I'll give it to Vader. I mean, I got to give it to Vader for number 5. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like Vader deserves to be on there because, I mean, they had some really good matches at the time. I mean, they had a lot of matches in WCW against each other.
Number 5 for me is Vader also.
Well, yeah.
I really didn't want to put it up here because I didn't enjoy WCW during that time as much as I did in the earlier ages. But
what was the gimmick time?
Well, and during that time, they also didn't like you jump off the top rope and, come on. Really?
Yeah.
Bill Watts, you're starting to go on my list with Mark Madden.
No.
Yes.
Bill Watts is still a lot better than Mark Madden.
And Vince Russo?
Better than Russo.
Better than Russo?
I
don't
wanna
think you can
say
get
better.
worse than Russo. But
Yeah,
I
you
think
can.
you go Russo, Watts, and Matt. No, you go Russo, Madden, and Watts.
You can get worse than Russo.
In wrestling?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do worse than... Periscopers, can they do worse than those 3? What, you don't like Periscopers?
Can you get worse? No, I don't. We'll talk about that later. Is there anyone out there worse than Vince Russo? Please tell me. And if you're a Vince Russo fan, sorry. But
If you are, you're the only one out there in wrestling. So,
Oh, I wish Scott was on Periscope.
Vince
today.
don't like him. Scott don't like him either.
I know.
I mean, I'm just saying. But I like the rivalry. It's just the wrong time period.
I know.
I didn't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a lot of people said that Vader had a better career in WWE, but I disagree. I think he had a better career in WCW.
Who, Vader?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have said he had a better career in WWF. I think he was more.
I agree with that.
I think it was a little diluted though in WWF. I think in WWE or in WCW he had a longer, like we got to see more rivalries in WCW. You know, because he was there longer. What?
I just thought of another one I was going to replace. But yeah, what's your number 4?
Trying to think of that one, actually. Number 4 was the only one I couldn't think of. It was a little tough. I have number 3, but number 4 for me, if I had to pick, man. I'm not going to put Seth Rollins on there. That was a great rivalry.
You can't do that.
God, what? No, it wasn't Psycho Sid, was it? No.
I don't know. Who was it?
I'm trying to remember. It was like, I don't want to say Hogan.
Black Scorpion?
No, I'm not saying no Black Scorpion. I'd say the Shockmaster over Black Scorpion, even though he never had it.
Do you want me to go? 'Cause
yeah, just go, man. Just go.
Sounds like you're not ready. Surprise there. Number 4.
Hey.
Number 4. One of his top rivalries to me, Rick Rude, in the 90s with Dangerous Alliance. Dude, at the time, he was the top heel in WCW against Sting, who was the top face, even over Flair at that time. This was a great, great rivalry.
I feel like he was a top heel in everywhere he was, Rick Rude. I feel like he was, he always made the other guy look great. You know what I mean? Like, he always, like, I felt Rick Rude helped Sting. You know, like, he helped put Sting over more than he needed to be because Rick Rude just makes the crowd hate him so much. I mean, like, he was so good at that.
And people forget how good he was in, back at that time.
I keep forgetting about WCW.
People
career.
forget he was in WCW.
Really
Some do, but he was really, really good back then.
Did he have a manager in WCW? Or
Yes,
was he all
it was
by
Paul
himself?
Heyman.
He had
Dangerous
Paul Heyman?
Alliance.
Oh, okay.
The Dangerous Alliance.
Maybe that's why I forget about it, because I always just remember him coming out with Heenan. You know what I mean? That was just always what I remember. If any clips I've seen of Rude. So, I keep forgetting he was in WCW, but I'll give you that one.
Give me that one? All right.
Well, that's a good rivalry, man. I mean, you can't hate on that one.
Do you have one?
Nope, I'm going to go to number 3. My number 3, say what you want. People are going to kill me for this, but Cactus Jack, I do not care. I have watched their matches over and over.
Who?
Cactus Jack.
Who?
Cactus Jack, sir.
Mick Foley? Cactus Jack?
Cactus Jack and Sting were awesome matches. And that was, again, during the time of Mr. Bill Watts, and they still made it look good. Yes, Sting got fined a few times probably in the match because he went on the top rope, but
JoJo just said WTF.
Whoa, hold on, why? What?
Listen.
Cactus Jack was great in WCW.
No. Not great. He was good. He was good, not great. Great, stop throwing the word around. Ric Flair's great. Sting was great.
No, they're not great. They are epic. There's a difference.
You go the great. It goes great level. It goes to great. Don't go to epic.
They're icons.
Right. Listen. The point is, Cactus Jack was never great. He was good. All right, but not that great.
Okay.
But the point is, that goes back to the reason I put Vader on. I didn't like the rivalry as much as because of the time period. And it goes back to the same thing. I didn't like Bill Watts running WCW, and you could tell how much other people didn't like working for WCW.
I liked the rivalry because I felt, especially watching all of Mankind and Dude Love and WWE, going back and watching him as Cactus Jack in WCW, I think he was a better wrestler in WCW, if that makes any sense. Not a stuntman, not a guy that gets injured 20,000 times. I'm talking a wrestler. I felt he was a wrestler in WCW, and that is why I give him props in this, because him and Sting had good good matches, and they had a good rivalry.
Well, you ready for my number 3?
Okay.
No, I agree with you. I don't know what else you want me to say on that.
I know. I mean,
I'm going back to 1987 at UWF, Universal Wrestling Federation, which was also AWA. They worked with the AWA. They worked with World Championship. They all worked together at the time. I'm going back to when he was called, before he just got moved from Flash, which was part of the Blade Runners, with who else? The Ultimate Warrior. You remember the Blade Runners?
I remember the Blade
Okay.
Runners.
Anyway, they just separated, and they changed his name from Flash to Sting. This is when he first became Sting. And the first big rivalry that he had was with this guy. I'm going to play his music. Sorry for the cheap 80s bad music. But hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert, wow. I forgot all about that.
If you don't believe, go back and watch this rivalry between Sting and Eddie Gilbert. Because you go back and watch them, they had great chemistry. Eddie put him over. Eddie Gilbert is one of the most underrated wrestlers to ever live. I mean, that would ever, and he died very early age, unfortunately. But, he was in wrestling. Ask Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler talks about him all the time. Eddie Gilbert and Jerry Lawler had great rivalries. Jeff Jarrett the same way, because they were all, he was the big star for UWF and all that. Yes, we're getting old. I'm a little bit older, but I remember when Sting first started.
I think JoJo remembers it too. I think that's.
But if you go back and watch it, you see they had a great chemistry together.
Yeah.
It was just this is the reason I loved it. It was because they were great. Eddie Gilbert was just awesome.
See, and that's one of the guys I don't know much about.
I'm the
Eddie
same
Gilbert.
age, Jojo. Or getting ready to be.
I don't know Eddie Gilbert that much, but I've heard you talk about him. I've heard a lot of people talk about him, and I've heard nothing but good things.
If you haven't, go back and watch UWF back. Go back and find some.
Watch UW?
Yeah, go back and watch Eddie. Type in Eddie Gilbert and see what you get.
Okay.
Go back and watch when they did like the Super Clashes and stuff. He was on that.
Oh,
card.
he was on there. Okay.
But you can go back and type WWM Network and see what you get. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll probably do that tonight. Now I'm thinking about it. But if you go back and watch, you can go to YouTube and watch some of his old stuff.
Yeah.
There's stuff on YouTube. He was a very good wrestler. I put him up there with Kevin Sullivan as most underrated wrestlers.
Wow.
Or minds of the business.
Maybe
not wrestler, but minds of the business you can watch and tell.
Just like psychology-wise,
right.
of like what he did.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Scott Hall came out with him in AWA.
That I know.
He was with him at that time.
I do know that Scott Hall had something to do. That's where I remember the name Eddie Gilbert.
Yeah.
But that's the only part I know of Eddie Gilbert.
So that's your homework this weekend.
All right,
go
that's
back
fine.
And watch
I'll watch some.
Go watch Sting when he first came out. I'm going to have to go back when the Dingo Warrior, you know who that is, Ultimate Warrior.
The Dingo.
That was his name. AWA, I don't know who brilliant out there that was that came up Dingo.
Same guy that did Spartacus.
Yeah, probably. What's your number 2?
Well, let's jump forward in time here.
Don't you dare say Triple H.
Yeah, it was Triple H because they had the greatest match ever. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to put this as a group or not, but I am.
It's fine. Go ahead.
NWO. I know, JoJo, you already mentioned it. NWO. Okay. Talk about a guy that got betrayed by Hogan, didn't wrestle for a year, and then all of a sudden came back in year's time, played tricks on the NWO the whole year, and had one of the biggest matches in wrestling at that time. At that time, it was one of the biggest matches because everyone wanted to know, is that still Sting? Can he wrestle? Can this happen? Like, it was a huge, just, like, everyone was waiting, was anticipating it. So I have to give it to that. Especially, we saw Sting wrestle a lot, but that's not why he's on this list to me. He's on this list because of all the Nitro moments that were created from NWO and Sting. All those Nitro moments, all those great Nitro rivalries during that time were created because of Sting and NWO having feuds back and forth. And they didn't really wrestle that much. Sting really didn't start wrestling them until like 98 almost. He wrestled them in 97 at Starrcade. He wrestled Hogan at Starrcade. And then he started wrestling, but he didn't wrestle for almost a whole year.
Well, you got to remember they built him up for that year.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you took this guy and built him up for a whole year. It was genius to me. I'll give him credit. I will give Eric Bischoff credit. He is a mastermind at these kind of things. I get it.
Now, I will say,
I just think it's a great rivalry just because, like...
Here's why I don't say it's the NWO, okay?
Okay.
Because he didn't have a great rivalry with the NWO. Mm-hmm. He had a great rivalry. He had a good match with Hulk Hogan at Starrcade.
Yeah.
You remember what it all built up to? It was towards Hogan.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I understand why everybody might put NWO. I didn't put Hogan in this because, to me, there was better rivalries with Sting.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Gilbert, I did have Hogan up there. And I thought Eddie Gilbert, I was like, it was a better rivalry to me.
Yeah.
I understand why you put NWO, and I get it. The black and white Sting, okay. I like the earlier Sting, the blonde hair.
Of course.
That's the Sting I'm thinking.
Here's my thing, and I want everyone to know this. I am not the biggest fan of the Crow Sting. No offense to the Crow Sting. It was awesome. It was revolutionary at that time. I get it. But I was more like, when I got into wrestling, when I started watching wrestling again, I went back and watched a lot of older stuff, and I fell in love with the blonde-haired Sting. I thought he was a cooler wrestler. I thought he was cooler than the Crow guy. I never really found that one interesting. But at the time, I understood it was really revolutionary. Especially because it had something to do with the kids at the time. With the rebellion and all that. With revolting and all that, And so I have nothing wrong with it. But I put them up there because I do feel like that this is why, like, that was a rivalry that kept them on top for a little while. Kept the Nitro on top in the Monday Night Wars because people went to Nitro to see Sting. Just if he came out at the end, just if he would fall from the rafters, they didn't care. They just wanted to see Sting. That's all they cared about. And so that's why I had to put that on there.
Now, I will say, not saying anything wrong with, I know why you put it on there. And I get the whole, and I don't hate the black and white Sting either.
Oh, yeah.
To me, the blonde hair Sting from Venice Beach, that was the one I grew up with that loved,
Venice Beach.
Yeah, from Venice Beach. But yeah, so you did number 2.
That was my number 2. I'm waiting for yours.
I know what your number 1 is because we're both probably got the same number 1. Number 2 is Great Muta.
Okay.
There is no question.
Okay.
All right. Back in the late 80s, Sting and the Great Muta. I'm just saying, dude, go back and watch the tape of the matches. They had a great rivalry and told a great story. And, Great Muta was tied with Sting. Terry Funk was tied with Ric Flair. The Hart, family were together, and Funk was with Great Muta. Yeah. It was a great matches, though, and it was a great rivalry. They told a great story all the time. That's the reason it's number 2.
Well, Eddie is dead. I think Eddie Gilbert died at a very young age. But, okay, so you want me to go with my number 1?
Well, no, talk about mine.
Okay, so, here's the thing with Great Muta. So, the Great Muta is another guy I don't really know much about, but I saw him, I started watching, the Nitros and stuff in 96 and 97, which was still a different Muta, but, it's not the same guy. It's the same guy, but not the same type of wrestler, in my opinion, from the 80s.
JoJo, he died in 1995.
Wow.
Okay. 1995. He was actually, if you remember correctly, the crush of the 80s, Missy Hyatt. He was married to Missy Hyatt.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was married to Missy Hyatt.
Yeah,
wow.
They were married before he passed away.
That is the crush of the 80s
anyway,
right there.
It was crush of the 80s.
You had a crush on Missy Hyatt, didn't you?
Anyway, no.
No, he says.
But anyway, go ahead.
No, so, it's just...
Great.
Again, he's one of those guys I got to do my homework on. I don't know much about Muta. All I do know is he was one of the biggest Japanese wrestlers. He's one of the reasons that Japan and U.S. have such a great, with wrestling, have a good connection, is what everyone tells me. He's one of those guys that came out of Japan that was, one of the best wrestlers.
Now, there's the guy that Ric Flair wrestled in Japan.
Yeah, him too.
But I will tell you, if it wasn't for Great Muta, I don't think you would see all the Japanese stars you do now. Or you don't see, Ring of Honor now has a big partnership with Japan. WWE, they always trying to get people over. TNA is a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're a different animal anyway. But,
They're not an animal. No, but I think it's also why you see a lot of U.S. wrestlers go over to Japan nowadays, because I think they want to learn like Great Muta. They want to learn like that style of wrestling. I think that's why AJ Styles went over to Japan. And all these people went over to Japan to get famous because they knew that their style, no pun intended, would get over in Japan. You see what I'm saying? So I think also Great Muta had a hand in that. I do. So I put him on. I know exactly why he's on there, but I need to go back and watch some of their matches. Give me a match that I should watch with Great Muta and
Sting. Clash of Champions. I can't remember which one. I'll have to go back and look out for you and show you.
You're right, Jojo. There are some great wrestlers in Japan.
Yep.
And I think James is right. That's probably Great Muta had a hand in a lot of those wrestlers' careers, probably. He really did.
You're going to see some of these guys now. Nakamura's one.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's been on TNA TV, introducing some of these younger guys. But anyway, going on from that, number one, what's your number one?
My number one is the Black Scorpion. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, tell us the number one, because it's the same number one.
It's Ric Flair.
Of course.
I mean, seriously. Is there a debate on this? Ric Flair, okay. I mean, Ric Flair and Sting, you can't do any. I mean, I will put it with one of the greatest rivalries of all time. There's not many better. Stone Cold Rock, maybe. Hogan.
And this is a rivalry.
I wouldn't put Hogan.
That went. I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't put Hogan and Andre.
Okay, we'll talk.
Well,
about that.
maybe. I don't know. Sting and Flair. I was a WCW guy. I mean, I grew up Hogan, of course, but
yeah, but Andre and Hogan, really?
Yeah, I will put it up there with that. I ain't saying it'd be better. I'm putting top 5 rivalries all the time.
I mean,
If you watch the matches, watch Greensboro Coliseum, 60-minute Iron Man match they had, and tell me it's not one of the best rivalries of all time. It's one of the best matches of all time.
yeah. Well, I mean, also, this is a rivalry that's been going on for almost, 2 decades? I mean, it started in 88 or 86 and went all the way to 2001 on the last night of Nitro.
Right.
I mean,
They opened Nitro, they closed Nitro.
Yeah. I mean, these are the two guys that were your basic. They put Nitro, they put WCW on the map.
Yeah.
They put them on the map. Those two were born to be rivals.
No,
they were.
They did. Absolutely.
You know?
But yeah, that's my number one, Ric Flair.
I would put that next to the Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair rivalry. That's right. That's on my top 5. I'm sorry.
It will be up there too.
That is a top.
But
That
I'm
is
just
on the top 5.
Ric Flair and Steen, though, and Dusty, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But that Ric Flairs are unanimous.
Of course.
Anymore.
And the authority is
Yes.
on there too. No.
You know what next week is, right? Another top 5.
Rivals or moments?
We're doing moments. 'Cause I don't think there's 5. Do you have a better top 5?
No, it's just I can only think of 2 moments.
We can do Jacqueline.
I like that.
Top 5 Jacqueline matches? Nah.
Well, you can't really say rivalries. Please name me 5 wrestlers. 5 women
Ivory,
wrestlers.
Sable. That's about it.
Trish and Lita were.
No, I'm talking about against Jacqueline. Trish and Lita.
They went against Jacqueline.
Not much, dude. It wasn't the same. All right. So let's do moments of the Boss Man.
All right.
Top 3 moments of the Boss Man next week.
Top 3. Oh, you're gonna limit it for me because there's not that many.
So next week's top 5 is going to be Big Boss Man's top moments.
Stick
That
on a
means-
poll's got to be.
I can tell you right now. Hey, Twin Towers count. Him throwing the Mountie into jail, that counts.
And don't forget about nails.
Even if you want to go back and put Big Bubba in that list, that's fine.
Name me one thing that Big Bubba did in WCW. You were the
I'm
one that
just
told
saying.
me. The NWO, that's
Hey,
it. That's all
the
I can
character counts, all right? And don't forget, we're talking about Sting. Don't forget about his TNA moments he had. He had a lot of great TNA rivalries, too. Kurt Angle's one.
Yeah, I know, but nobody decided to put them on their list, though. That's the thing.
I didn't want to.
Well, it wasn't at the caliber of those other rivalries. You can't tell me it was better.
No.
Hell, I think even Vader had better ones than him and Angle. No offense. Hell, I loved the Joker thing that he did in TNA. I know you didn't, but I loved it. So, that's our top 5.
Yep. So thank you for joining us on today's show. Everybody on Periscope, or Periscopers, stick
Stop
around.
saying that.
Stick around. We got another show coming up. Everybody else, see you tomorrow.